Today's topic is capacitance in JEE. We know that whenever a body is charged positively, the potential is positive, and if you give more charges onto this body, then we need to do more work to assemble these charges on its surface. More work is required to charge these onto this body. That means the potential of this body increases. We know that work done to move a charge from infinity to the surface of the body is called potential. So, as you want to add some more charges, we need to do more work. So, as we are doing more work, so we can say the potential of the body increased. So, from this what we can say, the charge increases on a body, and due to this potential of the body also increases. So, Q directly proportional to V, or Q is equal to some constant C into V. This is called the electrical capacitance of this conductor. So, this is called capacitance. So, what is this capacitance? Capacitance is the capacity of this body to store charges. Capacitance is the capacity of a conductor to store charges now. What is a capacitor? Capacitor also known as a condenser. So, capacitor or condenser is an electrical system. Capacitor or condenser, it is an electrical system which is used to store electrical energy, Now, how to find out the capacitance of this, means calculation of the capacitance of a conductor. So, first let me take a conductor. So, let me take the sphere here. So, I am taking an isolated sphere. It means there are no other bodies in the neighborhood of this body, this conductor. Let the radius of this one is R, let the total charge of this one is Q. Now, how to find the capacitance of this one? We know that capacitance is equal to charge per unit potential. So, C is equal to Q by V. So, based on this one, what we can write? The capacitance is measured in coulomb per volt. So, SI unit of capacitance is coulomb by volt, or which is also known as farad. So, this is the SI unit of capacitance, but in general we use a microfarad, nanofarad, picofarad, where 10 power minus 6, 10 power minus 9, 10 power minus 12. So, these are the generally used units to measure the capacitance of a conductor. Here, in general, if you take a capacitor consists of two conductors. So, one is charged positively, the other one is charged negatively. So, if you take the total charge on this one as plus Q, the charge on this one will become minus Q. Now, we know that electric field always acts from positive plate to negative plate. So, this is the direction of the electric field between these two plates. Let the potential of this plate is V plus, potential of this plate is V minus. So, generally we call them as conductors, two conductors, but in a capacitor we call them as plates. So, the two conductors in a capacitor are known as plates. Now, how to find the capacitance of this capacitor? So we know that capacitance is given by C is equal to Q by V. Here Q is charge on any one of the plate, only the magnitude of charge. Here it is plus Q, here it is minus Q, but you take only the magnitude of the charge. This is magnitude of the charge. And this is the potential difference between the two conductors or two plates. So this you can write C is equal to Q by V positive minus V negative. So this is positive potential, this is negative potential. So how to find this difference between these two? We know that as these two plates are very near to each other, so this field is a uniform electric field. So in uniform electric field, we know that the E is given by minus dV by dr. Even if the field is not uniform, here when the plates are very near to each other, field will be uniform. If you take two concentric spheres here if it is positively charged and this field will be like this, here you see the lines are not parallel to each other and equidistant from each other. Here distance is less, here distance is more. So this is not a uniform electric field. Here if it is uniform electric field, you can use this one. Otherwise, you can write dV is equal minus E dr. So this is the potential difference. So how to find the difference between these two, which is given by minus E dr. So this you can write Q by this potential V, which is given by integral of minus E dr. And what is this charge? In general, the closed integral of sigma into dA. Here if it is a sphere, this will be 4 pi r square surface area. Integral of dA will be A, which is equal to 4 pi r square. So this is the expression to find out the capacitance of a capacitor. So let me take one isolated conducting sphere. Isolated conducting sphere. Here I want to find out capacitance of an isolated conducting sphere. So to find out capacitance, we need the charge on the body, and this is the potential difference between this body and another body. But here, as there are no other bodies in the neighborhood of this one, we have to think that one more body is there at an infinite distance whose potential is 0. So calculation of capacitance is given by charge on this system by the potential difference between the two bodies. So this is Q by V1 minus V2. But here, as it is isolated conducting sphere, the second body is assumed to be at infinity. So this is Q by V of this sphere, this isolated sphere, V at infinity. So the second body is at infinity. The capacitance is given by Q by V sphere minus 0, which you can write Q by V sphere. So for isolated sphere, we will take only one potential. Now, what is the potential of this sphere? We know that the potential on the surface of this sphere is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R. So now let me substitute this one. C is equal to Q by, this is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R. Q cancel. C is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught R. So this is the capacitance of an isolated conducting sphere. Now, based on this one, suppose if you consider our earth. Earth is also a sphere, it is a charged sphere. How to find the capacitance of earth? So this is our earth. The radius of earth is 6,400 kilometers. So this is the earth, whose radius is 6400 kilometer. Now, how to find out the capacitance, electrical capacitance of our earth? The electrical capacitance of our earth, C earth is given by 4 pi epsilon naught R. 4 pi epsilon naught, we know that 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is equal to 9 into 10 power 9. What is 4 pi epsilon naught? 1 by 9 into 10 power 9, 6,400 into 10 power 3. So, based on this one you can see this will be 64 by 9 and remain 10 power 5 minus 9, 10 power 5 minus 9 minus 4. So, by calculation you will get 711.11 into 10 power minus 6 or 711 microfarad. So, please remember this value, the capacitance of our earth is equal to 711 microfarad, and if you see this one SI unit of capacitance is farad, but as I told in general it is measured in micro or nano or pico. Even though the size of earth is too high, here you can see this is less than 1 farad. So, generally farad is a very big value. So, we measure this in micro, nano or pico farads. The capacitance of a isolated sphere is given by 4 pi epsilon naught r. Here r is the radius of the sphere and 4 pi epsilon naught is a constant. In general, C is given by charge by potential difference. Here, if you increase the charge on a capacitor, what happens to the capacitance? So, you may think that whenever charge increases, the capacitance may increase. No. If charge increases to 3Q, the potential on that capacitor also increases to 3V, and once again this will be Q by V only. That means the capacity is constant irrespective of the charge and irrespective of the potential difference. Actually, these two are directly proportional to each other. Whenever charge is increased by 3 times, means tripled, potential also increased by 3 times. So, capacitance of that body or that capacitor remains constant. So, but what are the factors that affect the capacitance of a body? It only depends upon the radius of that sphere in this case. So, capacitance depends on physical dimensions of a capacitor or a conductor. Like, what are these physical dimensions? It may be length, it may be radius, it may be width, may be diameter, or distance from the point, some given point, or distance from the conductor. So, it depends upon these length, radius, width, diameter, distance and so on. So, we will prove it by taking different structures here. So, different capacitors. So, let me take first one spherical capacitor. So, what is a spherical capacitor? So, I have to take two concentric shells here, two concentric cells here. Let me take two concentric cells. This is a first shell, this is the second shell, this radius is R1 and this radius is R2. Now, let us say this is charged positively, the inner shell is charged positively, only charge is given to the inner shell. As these are conducting shells, charge will spread only on its outer surface. And here the outer surface is earthed, here this is earthed. So, due to this what happens? So, first of all induction takes place. So, positive charge is there on the inner surface and negative charge will be induced on the outer surface here. So, in negative charge will be induced on outer surface. So, what is the magnitude of the negative charge induced in the outer surface? So, this is exactly equal to the charge on this one. So, what is the charge on the inner surface? The charge on this one is capital Q and the charge on inner surface of this one is minus Q. What are the charge that is induced on the outer surface? Because every positive charge will induce an equal and opposite charge inside and equal and similar charge outside. But all these charges, as the outer surface is earthed, so these charges will be neutralized and no charge will present on the outer surface. So, this is a spherical capacitor. So, for this system to behave as a capacitor, the outer surface must be earthed. So, the condition is for this system to behave as a capacitor, outer surface must be earthed, it is must, then only it acts as a capacitor. Now, how to find out the capacitance of this system here? So, to find out the capacitance, the formula is C is equal to charge on any one of the conductor, either positive or negative, by the potential difference between these two. So, here let me take a point here. What is the potential on the first surface and what is the potential on the second surface? To find out this one, the potential on the inner surface is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r, that is k q by r1. But at this point, potential on this surface is not only due to this positive charge, also due to the negative charge, because this negative charge will produce some potential at this point, which is given by minus k q by r2. Similarly, the potential on the outer surface, that means on this one, is due to this positive charge as well as negative charge. So, this is given by k q by r2 minus, this is a potential due to positive charge, and potential due to negative charge is minus k q by r2, which is 0. Without writing this also, we know that whenever the outer surface is earthed, the total potential of this surface will become 0. So, what is the potential difference between the two spheres here? This is V inner minus V outer. So, this can be given by k q common 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. Now, the capacitance of this system is given by C is equal to charge. We need to take only the magnitude of the charge q by the potential difference between these two, delta V. So, this is q by, this will be k q by, LCM is r1 r2, this is r2 minus r1, q get cancelled. So, the capacitance is given by, if you bring this one up, this will be r1 r2 by r2 minus r1 by k. So, this is 1 by k. We know that k is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. What is 1 by k? 4 pi epsilon naught. So, capacitance of the spherical capacitor is given by 4 pi epsilon naught, product of the two radii by difference between the two radii. As I said earlier, the capacitance does not depend upon the charge and potential, it depends upon the physical parameters like length, radii, diameter. Here, the capacitance of a spherical capacitor depends upon the radii, that is product of the radii by difference or between the two radii. Here, just now we derived an expression. So, this is the inner surface of a spherical conductor. This is the outer surface of a spherical conductor. In that case, the outer sphere was earthed. So, the charges which are present on this one were, these are positive charges, these are positive charges, and these are negative charges. In the same case, if you see this capacitor, this is a spherical capacitor of radius r1 and this radius is r2. In the same case, suppose instead of earthing the outer surface, suppose if you earth the inner sphere here like this, here let us say the inner sphere is earthed and the charge was given to the outer surface. So, then what happens? Now, here let us say a charge is given here, the charge on this one is q. We know that whenever a body is earthed, the potential on that body must become 0, charge may or may not become 0. So, now what is the potential on the inner sphere? Potential on the inner sphere is given by, we don't know the charge here. Let us say the charge present on this one is q. It may or may not equal to 0. So this will become kq by r1 plus this charge kq by r2 is equal to 0. So this will become kq by r1 is equal minus kq by r2, kk cancel. The charge on the inner surface is equal to minus r1 by r2 into q. So this is equation 1. So in this case, if the inner surface is earthed and the charge is given to the outer surface, here q is given from somewhere, from infinite distance or whatever be, it is given externally. Now the charge that is present on the outer surface of the inner sphere, this is outer surface of the inner sphere is this much, minus r1 by r2 into q. Now I need to find out the capacitance of this one. Remember students, this is not actually a capacitor. So this is not a capacitor, this is not a capacitor, but this has a capacity to store electric charge or electric energy. That's why what happens to the capacitance of this one? The capacitance of this one is given by C is equal to Q by V, where V is the potential difference between these two. We know that potential on the inner surface is 0. So what is the potential on the outer surface? The potential on the outer surface is given by, so the charge on this one is Q, the charge whatever they given here, Q, by what is the potential difference? Potential on the outer surface minus potential on the inner surface. So C is given by the total charge by Q on outer surface minus 0. Why? Because inner surface is earthed, so potential on the inner surface must be equal to 0. Now, this is C is equal to Q by, what is the potential on the outer surface? Now I am going to find out potential on the outer surface. This is potential on the inner surface. The potential on the outer surface is given by, or outer sphere is given by k q by r2, that is k into charge on this one by r2, plus k small q by r2, this charge q at a distance r on this one. So potential on the outer sphere is given by k q by r2 plus k by r2 into, so what is the small q here? Small q is from this equation minus r1 by r2 into q. You can see this one here, k q by r2 common. So this is k q, r2 is common. So what are the remaining terms? 1 minus r1 by r2. Now if you simplify this equation, this will get k q by r2, this is r2 minus r1 by r2. So the potential on the outer surface is given by k q, difference between the radii by square of the outer sphere. So directly I am substituting that potential of the outer sphere, because potential of the inner sphere is 0 here. So here this will become k q r2 minus r1 by r2 square. Here q get cancelled. So from this C is equal to, if you bring this one up, r2 square by k into r2 minus r1. We know k is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. What is 1 by k? 4 pi epsilon naught. So this is 4 pi epsilon naught r2 square by r2 minus r1. So this is the capacitance of this spherical capacitor. But remember students, here the inner surface is earthed. If the outer surface is earthed, the formula is 4 pi epsilon naught, product of the two radii by difference between these two. But here it is slightly different. Product of the two radii is not there. Here square of the outer radius by difference between the two radii. So this is the capacitance when the inner surface is earthed. Cylindrical capacitor. In this I have taken two cylinders here. One is radius R1, the other one is radius R2. So, the outer one is the cylindrical shell, the inner one is a cylinder. The length of this one is L. Now, if I want to find out the capacitance of this cylindrical capacitor, the general formula for this capacitance is equal to Q by delta V. So, this is the potential difference between the two surfaces. So, how to find this one? Here we know that electric field due to a cylindrical body is given by sigma r by epsilon naught r, where r is the distance from the center, this is a small r, and this capital R is the radius of that particular given cylinder. Here, if it is the cylinder, the field will be radially outwards in all directions, and these lines which are emanating from this positive charge will terminate on the negative charge. So, from top, if you see this diagram, from the top, let me draw this one. So, from top, here the field is radially outwards. So, here at some point I have taken a point here, this point P. So, what is the electric field due to this cylinder at this distance r? Sigma r by epsilon naught, where sigma is the surface charge density of this cylinder. So, how to write this one? E is equal to, in place of sigma you can write charge by area. What is the surface area of this cylinder? This is 2 pi r1, because radius is r1, into the length of this cylinder is L. So, this is the surface area into capital R by epsilon naught small r. So, this is a electric field due to this one. Now, here you can cancel this R1, because this is R1, you can cancel this R1 and R1. So, electric field is given by the charge on this body, let the charge on this one is plus Q, let the charge on the inner surface of the outer cylinder is minus Q. So, this charge plus Q 2 pi epsilon naught L r. So, let me take this as equation 1. So, now how to find out the potential difference between these two? The potential difference between these two is given by, we know that delta V is equal to minus E integral dr, and if you integrate this one you will get the potential difference between these two surfaces. So, here the outer surface is here. So, let me take this cylinder as B, this cylinder as A. So, finally, as we are moving from positive to negative charge, the final potential is VB, the initial potential is VA, that is potential on the outer surface I am taking it as VB, potential on the inner surface of the inner cylinder I am taking it as VA. So, what I am going to write? VB minus VA is equal minus E dr. So, what is VB minus VA? So, this is the potential due to negative charge minus potential due to positive charge, which is given by minus integral E is equal to this much. So, Q by 2 pi epsilon naught R L into dr. This is E and dr is this one. What are the limits here? So, what is the variable? First we have to find out. Q constant, 2 pi epsilon constant, length of the cylinder constant, but the distance of that point from the center, this is the variable. So, the limits are, what is the minimum value of small r? Up from here to here R1, from here to here R2. So, the limits are R1 to R2. But in general, the potential difference between these two surfaces while giving this value, this is always V plus minus V minus, that is potential on the positive surface minus potential on the negative surface. So, here this is reverse. So, what I am going to do? V plus minus V minus, then that means I am multiplying this entire equation with minus, then this will go. So, this will remain as 2 pi epsilon naught R L dr with the limits R1 and R2. So, this I am going to write the potential difference between the two cylindrical surfaces. So, V difference is given by Q constant 2 pi epsilon naught L constant integral 1 by R dr with limits R1 and R2. We know 1 by R is log R. So, we can write Q by 2 pi epsilon naught L log R to the base E with limits R1 and R2. Now, if you substitute these values, the potential difference is given by q by 2 pi epsilon naught L. This is log R2 minus log R1. So, this is log R2 to the base e minus log R1 to the base e, which we can write log A minus log B, can also written as log A by B. So, q by 2 pi epsilon naught L log R2 by R1 to the base e. So, this is the potential difference. Now, to find out the capacitance of this cylindrical capacitor, we have this formula C is equal to Q by potential difference. So, the capacitance is given by charge Q by the potential difference is Q by 2 pi epsilon naught L log R2 by R1 to the base e. Here Q get cancelled. The total capacitance of this cylindrical capacitor in this case is given by, this will go up. This is 2 pi epsilon naught by log R2 by R1 to the base e. So, this is the final expression. If it is with the base e, suppose in some problems, especially when a problem is given based on this cylindrical capacitor, in bracket they will give the log R2 by R1 or log 2 base 10. So, generally it will be given in terms of base 10. So, how to write this one? How to convert this log R2 by R1 to the base e into log R2 by R1 to the base 10? So, very simple, this will be 2 pi epsilon naught by multiply with 2.303 log R2 by R1 to the base 10. Here, capacitance between two cylindrical conductors. Let me take two cylindrical conductors here. This is the first cylindrical conductor. And this is the second cylindrical conductor. Let the radius of this one is r, and let the radius of this one is also r, and the distance between their axes r, this distance is, let us say this is d. Now, in this system, let us say one of the cylinder is charged positively on its surface, and let us say other one is charged negatively on its surface. So, this is connected here to the battery, and this is connected here, and outer surface is earth, what will be. So, one is positive, one is negative. Let the charge on this one is plus q, charge on this one is minus q. Now, to find out the capacitance of these two cylindrical conductors, first of all, let me find out the potential difference between these two plates. Here, these two are called as plates here. So, what is the electric field at this point due to this one? So, electric field due to cylindrical one is given by E is equal to sigma r by epsilon naught r. So, here potential due to this one is, electric field due to this one is, due to this one at this point is sigma r by epsilon naught r, where r is the distance from the center to this point. Similarly, what is the electric field due to negative charge at this point? This is also in this direction, which is given by sigma, radius of this one is r by epsilon naught. What is the distance? The distance between these two is small d. If it is small r, this will be d minus r. Here, electric field due to this positive charge at this point is away from this one radially outwards, and due to this one radially inwards towards that one. So, both are different magnitudes, but acting in the same direction. So, what is the net electric field at this point? Let me take this point as P. So, E at point P is given by E due to positive charge cylinder, E due to negative charged cylinder, which is given by sigma r by epsilon naught r, and the second one sigma r by epsilon naught d minus r, sigma r by epsilon naught d minus r. So, what is common here? Sigma r epsilon naught common. This is sigma r by epsilon naught. This is 1 by r plus 1 by d minus r. This is the net electric field at point P. Now, to find out the potential difference between these two, we have this expression delta V is equal minus E dr, which is given by minus, what is E? That is net electric field. here I am writing this as sigma r by epsilon naught 1 by r plus 1 by d minus r into dr. What are the limits here? The limits are the minimum value from here to here r, the maximum value from here to here d minus r. So, here this will be r, this will be d minus r. So, r, d minus r are the limits. Now, I need to integrate this one. So, in integration here what I am going to write, this will be minus sigma r by epsilon naught integral, this is common, this is 1 by r dr with limits r to d minus r. Similarly, the other term is integral 1 minus d minus r dr with limits r to d minus r. Here, the potential difference is given by delta V is equal to minus sigma r by epsilon naught. This will be the first term in this integration is integral 1 by r dr. So, this is integral 1 by r dr with the limits r to d minus r. But what about this d minus r, 1 by d minus r? Let me take this d minus r as t. Let d minus r is equal to t. So, from this if you differentiate this one, derivative of this small d, here small d is constant, that is the distance between the two cylinders. So, derivative of d is 0, derivative of r is minus tr is equal to derivative of t is dt. That means, here we have dr, here we have dr. So, in place of dr what we can write? Minus dt. Similarly, what are the limits here? Whenever if you write this as t, now you have to write these limits in terms of t, but not in terms of r. Now, if small r is equal to capital R, this one, then how this expression will change? D minus capital R is equal to t. Similarly, if small r is equal to d minus r, this will become d minus, in place of small r, let me write d minus r is equal to t. Here dd get cancelled, minus of minus plus. So, small r will become, this one small t will become capital R. So, what are the limits now? So, as I am changing this d minus r into t, now I need to write this as integral 1 by t minus dt, because dr will become minus dt, dr will become minus dt. But what are the limits here? In place of this, here I am writing t as d minus r, the lower limit will be d minus r, the upper limit will be r. So, this will become delta V is equal minus sigma r by epsilon naught. So, integral 1 by r dr will be log r. So, this is log r with limits r to d minus r plus this will be 1 by t, that is log t. So, this is log t, but this is minus. So, let me write this as minus log t with limits d minus r to r. So, delta V will become minus sigma r by epsilon naught. This is log r with substituting these limits, this will become log of upper limit t minus r by minus log r, this is first one for this one, minus for this one log of the upper limit is r minus log d minus r. So, based on this one, delta V is equal to minus sigma r by epsilon naught. We know that log a minus log b is equal to log a by b. So, this will be log a by b, log a by b minus, this one will be log b minus log a, that is log b by a, which is going to be log r by d minus r. You can say this one, this is log a minus log b. Once again, you can write log a by b. So, delta V will become minus sigma r by epsilon naught log this by this, that is d minus r by r by d minus r will become once again d minus r by r. So, this is the potential difference between the two cylinders here. So, now after getting this value, I can find out the capacitance of this system as C is equal to Q by delta V. C is equal to charge on this one is Q, any one magnitude of charge Q. What is delta V there? Here you can see the delta V is given as minus sigma R by epsilon naught. But if you change this one, you can write this delta V also. If you take it positive, that means here you can write this here delta V can also be written as this minus sigma R by epsilon naught. This is log d minus R by R whole square. So, delta V is equal minus sigma R by epsilon naught. This is in form of log A by B whole square. But if you reverse this one, that means in the place of numerator, if you write denominator and denominator in the place of numerator, you can write this as minus log R by D minus R whole square. You can see here 1 minus, here 1 minus, this will become plus. So, what is the delta V here? This is sigma R by epsilon naught log R by D minus R whole square. Now, what is this C? C is equal to sigma surface charge density, and this one is equal to charge per area. So, Q by, what is the area of this outer surface? This is given by 2 pi r. Let the length of this one is, you take it as L. So, this is in place of sigma, let me write this as Q by 2 pi r L into this R by epsilon naught, R by epsilon naught log R by D minus R. This is a log A power x or A power n can be written as n into log A to the base E. So, this power can be written here. So, this is square I am writing here. So, this will be 2 log this value R by R minus R. Here Q get cancelled, R get cancelled. The capacitance is given by this 2 pi epsilon naught L will go to numerator, 2 pi epsilon naught L by, what are the remaining terms now? This is 2 log R by D minus R. This 2 to get cancelled. So, the capacitance of this cylindrical conductors is given by C is equal pi epsilon naught L by log of R by D minus R to the base E. So, this is the final expression for the capacitance of this cylindrical conductors. Here, in place of this log E, if you want to write in terms of log 10, the same expression can also be written as pi epsilon naught L by 2.303 log R by D minus R to the base 10. And if you see this expression, either this one or this one, it does not depend upon the charge on this conductor, that is Q, or the potential difference between these two. Final expression contains only the length of this one here, this is L, the length of this conductors L, next the radii of this one R, and the distance between the two cylinders, that is D. So, capacitance of a system never depends upon the charge and potential. While deriving this equation, we are considering the electric field and potential difference, and finally we will get the expression in terms of the physical parameters like length and radii and distance.